A grain facility in northeast Iowa had its license revoked last week and won't be able to pay some of the farmers who sold grain there. As AgDay's Michelle Rook has found out, this isn't an isolated incident and may be pointing to a bigger problem.
B&B Farm Store in Jessup, Iowa had their grain license pulled by the state after falling $4.5 million in debt. That left some of the farmers who sold grain there filing claims with Iowa's Grain Warehouse Indemnity Fund to get compensation. But with the value of grain today, that may not be enough to make farmers whole, which is raising some red flags. B&B Farm Store defaulted on an estimated $1.3 million of grain they bought from 60 Jessup area farmers. One of those was Ben Reinshee. He sold B&B 20,000 bushels of corn this spring that he wasn't paid for and now has to rely on the Iowa Grain Warehouse Indemnity Fund for payment.
We are in the process of filing our claim. We should be paid 90% of the grain's value up to $300,000.
That should cover most of his losses, but that isn't the case in many states with bonding or indemnity funds. Even Iowa's was set up in the 1980s when grain prices were considerably lower.
These funds do run out very quickly. For example, the Iowa fund, depending on when you look at it in time, is anywhere from $3 to $8 million. Well, at $3 corn, that covers a lot more bushels than it does at $7 to $8 corn.
Probably 300,000 is a very low number to protect producer from indemnity, and that if it would be possible to maybe double that, perhaps up to $1 million even. I think that would be more in line with today's standards.
As a result, some state legislatures have revisited and modernized their grain bond or indemnity programs to better reflect the marketplace, and others may need to follow suit.
So I think there will be some debate over, do we need to increase the size of these funds? Do we need to be more proactive in looking for these problems out here?
And Hart says the Iowa Department of Ag is looking to do more audits as elevators and grain facilities have gotten larger to red flag when they're getting in trouble and prevent a failure. In the meantime, Hart says farmers need to protect themselves and remember there's counterparty risk. So he says only sell to entities you trust and don't deliver grain without setting a price or accepting payment at the time of delivery.